So I'd like to invite you to join me in a little bit of a guided meditation. This one I got from an audio book by Ram Dass. I think I can recreate it. And so I just want you to sit or lay down or ground. Just find your base. And I want you to imagine there are roots coming out of your body, whether you're seated or laying down, and just going down into the earth. And I want you to draw up a bunch of energy through those roots. I like to imagine it as golden light. That's just me. And so I'm pulling this golden light up from the earth, into the ground, into my body, pulling it up to my head. It's coursing up through my channels, through my spine, into my brain, my mind right here. And then from here, we're going to expand. And so I want you to imagine you're kind of looking down over yourself, like you're actually witnessing yourself. And then I kind of want you to pull that view back inside, and we're going to expand just to within a few feet of ourselves. We're going to expand out so we can fill just that much space with this light, this golden energy. And we're going to breathe and breathe out. We're going to expand it to inside the room. And so now our awareness is, as represented in this field of sort of golden light, is pressing up against the walls of the room that we're in. We're going to breathe deep. As we breathe out, we're going to bring that awareness, that golden light, outside. And now we're actually looking down at our house. And that awareness, that energy is now enveloping ourselves, our room, our house. And then we're going to breathe deep. And now it's going to be our block. So we've expanded out. Our awareness is a little bubble that encompasses our whole block. And if you push out a little bit further, you can see your city, or maybe it's your neighborhood. I live in Emeryville. If I push out a little bit more, I can see Oakland. I can see San Francisco and Marin. I'm going to push that awareness, that ball of golden light out even further. Taking in Sacramento, San Jose. And I'm going to push out, and I can see the US. I can see the United States. And I go out even further. And this ball of light is encompassing the entire Earth. We go out further and further. We can see our solar system. We go out further. We can see the Milky Way galaxy. We go out further. We can see superclusters of galaxies. We go out further and further in the depths of space. Our entire consciousness, our energy is encompassing all of the universe in golden light. And now we're going to take that. We're going to take the entire universe. We're going to bring it down to the superclusters, and then further down to our solar system, and then further down to Earth. And you can just see Earth from far, and now it's getting closer. We can see the curvature of the Earth, and we're bringing that ball of light around us even further in. We can see the United States, parts of Europe. Further down, we can see California and the mountains and the deserts. And we bring it further in, we see our city, Oakland, San Francisco, Emeryville, or wherever you are in the world right now. And bring it in, I can see my house. I'm looking down at my house, and I go through the roof, and I've got this compressed ball of golden light, and I bring it into the room. And I'm just basking in this glow of energy that is in the earth, that is in me, that is just outside, and it's the entire universe. I want you to bring that down back into your mind, and just let that course up and down into the roots of the earth and back up, and channel it and channel it and channel it and channel it, and then root yourself in the earth. Thank you. I'm going to play a little bit more for you. I always wanted to check in to see how everybody's doing. Why don't you leave a comment if you're on Zoom or Facebook Live? Just leave a comment and let us know where you're listening from. It's always nice to know where people are. And if you're just joining us, I wanted to let you know that I'll be playing tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m. Pacific time, and also on Thursday at 8:30 a.m. Pacific time. I do that as a weekly thing. It's a similar format. It's for sort of movement, meditation, yoga, but there's no pressure. You can sit and drink coffee in your bed. It's just for waking up and finding a way to get grounded and connected with people before facing the day. And some people's days these days are a little more challenging than they were before this pandemic. And so I just want to make sure that everyone is checked in and centered. I've got a new album out. It's not that new. It's maybe a year and a half old. And it's called Coming Home. And it's about the hero's journey. And so it's a concept album, and it follows basically the voice of the cello represents our hero, he or she or they. And it follows the hero into the shadow, into the darkness, into sort of like facing the biggest, deepest, darkest fears, the shadow side, and doing battle and experiencing a spiritual death and coming back. And part of that is an old version of yourself has died, the part that was not useful to you, the part that kept you from bringing your gifts to the world. And so the idea of this sort of like deep shadow work is to sort of it's like shedding a layer of skin and peeling away the layers until you get to the that golden light inside, into the real essence of the soul. And so I guess our intention for the second half, I'm not going to play the whole album, but I'll play some elements of it and mix with some improvisation. But I want you to think about now that you're grounded and rooted and centered and being connected to your breath, and you're slowing down. Now that we're rested and relaxed, I want you to think about the rest of this is a journey. And so let your mind take you where it wants to. Obviously, stay in that connectedness, that rootedness, but allow yourself to take off and go on that journey with this sort of new grounded feeling. And I'd like to know what that looks like for you. So feel free to shoot me a message. You can get links to my social media from New Era with Cynthia. And I'm going to go ahead and play for you. Thank you. I'm actually just going to check what time it is. I'm trying to keep hold of the time. My eyes aren't very good, so it's hard to see from here to my little computer over there. Yeah, that part of that, the second half of that was a song called "The Journey," and that's the opening track off of my album "Coming Home." That's sort of about the hero coming to grips with the idea that the human experience inherently involves some suffering, and to sort of embark on a journey to find what the answers are. And the album is called "Coming Home." It's actually about coming home to who you've always been. There's a sense that we're looking for these really huge esoteric answers, and sometimes they end up when we get the aha moment or the realization. It's usually much more simple than we initially thought. And so this big journey work is kind of about just remembering who you are and who you've always been. As we live our human lives in this human experience, we get layers upon layers upon layers of experiences, relationships, things that affect how we look at the world and how we interact with each other. And underneath all of that stuff, there's your soul. And so to kind of look deep at that, past all the layers, it's really just coming home to who you've always been. You just have to remember. And so I'll play a few more for you, and I'll talk to you soon.